the daily impact that you have on people's lives.
I would take somebody off the street who is passionate and believes in your vision and the product, but it was really, what is the impact that we have on society?
Brandon.
What's up, man?
Dude,
good to see you.
It's been a while.
Congrats on the new role.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, it's been exciting. Like, I think you had probably one of the best stories in hospitality. You know, you started out Union Square and Patina, then you went to Resi, Avero. You know, now you're the CEO of Byte.
Yeah.
You've been at EIR at Cornell, one of the world-class leaders in hospitality. So, you know, that's
Thank you, man.
envious. You know, so I appreciate the time.
It's all, you know, just following customers, trying to make them happy along the way. Like the whole thing, you know, whether it was being a part of Union Square Hospitality Group or Vero or Byte or Resi, it's always been trying to make this beautiful, hospitable digital experience for guests, you know.
Like, why food, though? Like, what is it about food that kind of attracts you to it?
It's such a great question. I don't know if there's like a real answer there. I started bussing tables when I was 14 years old, so I just loved restaurants.
Yeah.
Restaurants to me was always an accessible way to break out of like my humble beginnings and like go to someplace, save up for a bunch of time, go to someplace fancy and feel like you are now part of a different thing, right?
Absolutely.
So when I graduated and I got to work at a 3-star restaurant in Tabla, like that blew my mind. You know, it was opened up this whole world of just like fine dining and excellence and wine and everything. So yeah, fell in love with restaurants.
And now, you know, as a CEO of Byte, like if I am somebody watching this and I want to follow in those footsteps, right? And I want to be a leader at one of, you know, the best restaurant tech companies in the US, like how do I go about that? Like any advice you'd give to somebody else?
Yeah, so I mentor a lot of students actually.
Yeah.
So the advice that I give most of them actually might be counterintuitive. A lot of students today have already started companies, believe it or not, which is,
It's wild.
It's kind of wild.
The risk piece is okay nowadays. Like when we were starting out, people like, are you nuts?
Yeah, correct.
You're leaving your, you
Correct.
know.
But yet entrepreneurship, when you're not ready, it doesn't maximize your whatever you're doing, like your value, your career. You don't have the chops yet to be able to do that. So I actually often recommend for students to go to work in bigger companies if they want to be in the tech space. Go work in the bigger companies in the tech space. You want to be in operations? Go work for the bigger companies like a Union Square Hospitality Group, because you're going to learn. And do that for a year, or 2, or 3. And you will also find like-minded people who you can go start things with. Because you and I know that the journey of being a CEO in a company, it's lonely and it's very hard. And so if you find like-minded people that are there and you start building your network and building your team, that's way more important than anything else in the beginning.
That's why I love the community, because everyone they'll ask me for advice. Like, is that okay? It's like, absolutely. You know, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for other people give me advice. And I think working in the restaurant space like gives you this hustle and this grit that you don't get anywhere else, because otherwise you're coming in, if you're building a tech company, you're applying tech and you're guessing how it's going to work. Whereas if you're in it, like you're in the shit and you know, like, hey, it's noon, like you're stuffing your face trying to get a sandwich in because the rush hasn't happened yet, and then you got to run out there and everything's in a 11 alarm fire because there's one little thing that happens, but in the grand scheme, like you get their pain. You understand that mentality and like what they're going through, and also it's their livelihood, you know? So I think it's like a different appreciation, and like you can then come from a side of like, how do we partner and provide the best solutions to help them grow?
That's right.
And them see their goals, which is like where I love to.
And you have empathy and you understand what they're going through. By the way, I always make this analogy between startup in restaurant tech especially, but startups probably in general, and restaurants, because they have the same level of intensity. And anytime, you know, the majority of my team is all former restaurant operators, and so it's very clear when they come in and they know that there's a deadline and a project and on their execution of it and how important it is to get it done, you know, quickly and fast and everything like that. And like that intensity exists in the restaurant as well, right? You have one service to serve, you know, hundreds of people usually, give them this incredible dining experience if it's or one service, you know, to punch out lunch where you're doing 400 lunches and sandwiches and bowls and things like that. It's the same level of intensity, you know? So I find it, and of course, like your CTO is the chef. I always find myself, I'm a front of house guy and a salesperson, right? So I always need a CTO or a great chef in in my
analogy.
kitchen, right?
Love that.
They're the ones. They're the artists.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's interesting. Like as you're building teams, like how you think about team dynamics
Yes.
and like the people you want to surround yourself building it up. I guess like my last question for you is like at Byte, like where are you seeing kind of the future going when it comes from like a digital commerce standpoint? Like what are you seeing and what excites you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of brands are moving towards 100% digital. I don't know if we'll get there as an industry in general, and I don't even know if that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
But for Byte, we feel the last few years have been kind of kiosk 1.0, and the other products that are out there are in this 1.0 zone. For us, we're in kiosk 2.0. We want to make the guest experience, this digital guest experience, next level.
Yeah.
So we're doing things like having secret menus that you can find just by Easter eggs on the
almost like
kiosk.
the double animal style.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
if you know what that is, you know.
You know. Or things like something for nothing. This is something we used to do in Danny Meyer's dining rooms, where you could give something away just to anybody randomly, just because they were having a good time, or
the
they
random act
maybe
of kindness.
Exactly. And it's this little surprise and delight. By the way, you can do that really lovely digitally as well.
Yeah.
Right. You can set
Love
it.
it.
You can set it so that maybe once a week it buys somebody lunch. Why? Just because.
Yeah.
And so if you look at through the lens of hospitality, you really can start to shape the digital experience, not into a transaction, but a real hospitality experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude,
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Brandon.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.